It's hard to ask people you don't know to do something.
It's even more difficult to ask people you don't know to do something when they have something to gain by not necessarily doing the right thing.
Here on YouTube, especially, people aren't real. These are just little videos that are on your computer screen. But I'm asking you folks to listen to me, because I have a message that I hope you guys and gals out there will listen to.
And it's a simple message. The message we're trying to put across to all YouTubers, whether you're somebody that's just commenting on a video or commenting on somebody's site, or actually vlogging with a very large subscriber base. Simple message. Think. Think before you act. Think before you vlog. Think before you upload. Think before you talk.
I'm not professing that I know any more than you. I'm not stating that I have a better understanding of who you are, or that I know this community any better than anybody else. I only have my own perspective and my own take on it, and my own personal feelings.
In fact, it's been said that our feelings and our thoughts and our dreams may be the only thing we can personally call our own. But when we communicate those thoughts and those dreams, well, there's a certain responsibility we have to the people that we're communicating with.
What I'm saying to you guys and gals out there is you need to start to think. You need to think about what it is that you do on YouTube. Now, I'm not saying that, now you've all suddenly got to, stop having fun. Everything's got to be done seriously. Everything's got to be very calculated.
In fact, if you're familiar with Dan and I's work, him as Raven Laughs and me as Battim, you'll know that we like to have fun. We like to pick on people. In the spirit of fun, you also notice that we're both passionate about what is and what isn't the community around here. You also notice that we have some major issues with people that don't take those responsibilities to heart.
A lot of times people make videos without contemplating the effect of those videos. This isn't just you and your buddies that you send to the link checking it out. There are millions of people that have access to whatever it is that you have to say. What are you telling those people? What are you conveying to them? What are you putting into their heads? What ideas are you creating for them? What kind of a message are you sending out to the rest of the world? And yeah, it is the rest of the world. It's a worldwide phenomenon. The internet. YouTube. People from all over the place are hearing what you have to say, are watching you, and taking in whatever you're communicating. If you're going out there and you're being, superficial and manipulative and rude and disgusting, you're spreading that out into the world. You got to think about what you do before you do it. You got to think about the consequences of your videos. You got to think about the message that you're trying to convey.
In other words, it's not just about you. It's about your audience. The medium is the message. I find that a lot of people don't understand what that means. It's not just the things that come out of your mouth that are communicating things to people. It's the way you say them. It's what you're playing in the background while you're saying them. It's the music you use. These are all things that communicate things to people.
A lot of people will come onto YouTube and they'll make a video without even being concerned about what it's saying to other people. They'll come on and they'll shuck and they'll jive and they'll smile and they'll glad hand and they'll say a bunch of different stuff that's completely insincere and have no concept of how that's affecting other people.
But somehow in their method of trying to get their message across, they forget on the other end of the person they're responding to that the other person they're responding to is a person, and that the people they're talking about are human beings. They're not videos on a screen. They're people with feelings, people with aspirations, Some of them are simply characters that people are portraying. And people make the assumptions that because they're portraying a character, well then therefore there must be some secret message that they're trying to portray, and sometimes they're simply trying to entertain. I'm all for freedom of expression. In fact, I don't even have any problems with hater comments. I find most of them pretty amusing. But I do have issues with people that are intentionally trying to hurt people. And it doesn't matter whether it's on a video or on a private message on YouTube. The politics of personal destruction. There's no place for that anywhere. Not on YouTube. And not in the real world.
Personal responsibility implies that, expecting others to take up the slack that you leave behind because you're too lazy to do it. You're too lazy to take up that slack yourself. Pointing your finger and telling people, let's get this entertainer off the air, rather than turning off the fucking radio or changing the channel on television. That's the kind of irresponsible behavior that falls under the, this personal responsibility thing. You need to be responsible for yourself. You need to be the one to decide what you're listening to, not the government, not groups of people, not politicians. You need to be responsible for that. But at the same time, you also have to take a hand in what it is that you put out into the world. You have to take a hand in your investment and involvement in the world. You have to think about what you're telling other people. You have a responsibility because of the fact that you are affecting other people's lives. You cannot just go in and trash things and make a mess and then leave the responsibility of having to clean up what that does to them on the people.
People are going to make mistakes. That's essentially what makes us human. That we have faults. That we make mistakes. I've made mistakes on YouTube. Dan's made mistakes on YouTube. Understanding that you made a mistake is okay. Making the same mistakes over and over and over, after a while the apology doesn't mean anything. Maybe you recall the story about the boy that cried wolf. Eventually the town stopped coming to his rescue and stopped forgiving him. And eventually the wolf ate him.
But still, it's very irresponsible to make a huge mess and just go, well, they've got to clean it up because they need to be the ones that decide not to listen. There are a lot of people on YouTube that take advantage of their position on YouTube. There's a lot of people on the A-list, the more popular users on YouTube. They have a very wide viewer base. They've created that viewer base because whatever it is that they do, people want to watch. That's a lot of power. If people are expecting a particular thing from you, they're going to go and watch it because they want to see that particular thing. If you have that kind of an established relationship, you can do anything with it.
Some people choose this medium for different reasons. Some choose it to become famous. Some choose it to make some extra money. Some choose it to get their personal message out. And it doesn't matter what that message is. And I don't find any inherent evil in any of those things. Yet, we have to be careful what it is we're motivated by. And we have to make sure that those motivations don't cloud our human responsibility toward our fellow man. I mean, call me an ideologue. Call me naive. Call me any of those things. But I still kind of believe in community. And I just don't see it here anymore. And I think it's time that us YouTubers take that back.
You have a responsibility to your brothers and sisters. You have a responsibility to your nephews and nieces and mother and father. And you have a responsibility to the people in your real life. And the other members of YouTube are a member of your real life. It may be virtual because it's the internet, but that doesn't mean that those people don't exist.
And just because it doesn't affect you doesn't mean that it may not affect the 12-year-old that's watching your video. Or someone from another country that yearns for freedom of their own expression. Think about things, man. Think about it.
Think about it.